The Bitcoin bull market continues, hitting 57,000 today. If I had told you that was going to happen just a few weeks ago, you probably would have called me crazy, even though I kind of told you that was likely to happen a couple weeks ago. Things are actually turning pretty bearish in global markets. Bloomberg seems to have taken like a antidepressant this morning or something and listened to some shoegaze music. I'm going to tell you all the things they're saying about the global economy right now and also dig into the Bitcoin chart and all the news. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, Wolfpack? I am Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, go ahead and aggressively blow on that like button. Just blow it so hard that you can hit it. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Now, guys, you may have just seen my tweet. If this looks at all abnormal or jacked up, here's what happened. Got food poisoning, up all night, kind of a wreck. Couldn't drink coffee as a result of the food poisoning, which is what mitigates my ADHD and obviously gives me that morning boost. But I am still here. I'm here with you guys because I really try not to miss days when we have those moments. But go ahead, blow on that like button right down below, guys. Now, as I mentioned, listen, Bitcoin made it to 57K. Pretty epic, right? Pretty epic. Kristen wants to know if it's the chicken wings. I think that they contributed. I don't think I ate a single food this weekend that was not deeply fried. And I'm kind of old, man. Can't really do that anymore. But anyways, guys, yeah. So here we are. Bitcoin 57K. I'm going to take a look at all the news and the charts right now. There's kind of not that much going on, but we're starting to see these sort of macro cracks that people are talking about. And it's going to be interesting because we're getting two-sided takes as to what that could likely mean for Bitcoin and crypto in general. We definitely know that regulators are coming. They're going to regulate. And we're going to talk about that as well. Let us dig into the news. Bitcoin makes a push for 57K as Fed taper fears linger, leverage funds boost shorts. The positive sentiment in Bitcoin has been partially driven by ETF speculation. What I love is that we're speculating that Bitcoin is going up because of ETF speculation, right? Nobody knows if that's the reason that Bitcoin is going up. There could be a million reasons, but we continue to talk about the ETF. And I'm going to get into later why some people think that the ETF is not that bullish. I tend to disagree, to be quite honest. But they're also saying that that leverage funds are starting to short Bitcoin, and there's some evidence of that. Not something that we love to see. But then again, the more people who short, the more fuel for the fire to the upside, right? So that's about all there is in this article. I'm going to dig into the chart right now because that's where we're going to see what we need to see, right? Listen, so my take on Bitcoin right now in general looked extremely bullish, but that doesn't mean that we can't find resistance and consolidate, right? So on the weekly chart, this is what we were looking for. This is what we cared about, right? You have this descending resistance, high, lower high. As I said, for me, the wick was enough, right? Once we broke this black line, I was good at 52,944. That made a higher high, no more lower high. No more lower high. That eliminates the argument about bearish market structure. So we have a high, lows, lower high, higher low, higher high, right? So now we're in this pattern right here. We have a low, higher low, low, high, higher low, higher high. So now you have this sort of channel rising from the lows around 29,000, which is a new and refreshed bull market and bull market structure by definition. Don't shoot the messenger. Bear market, bro. Going 20 tomorrow. What are you talking about? I hate you. That's the reply guys on my tweets. So anyways, you can see though, this is it, right? This is it. This is the last resistance on the chart besides, of course, this line, right? But if you even take a look at the weekly, the highest weekly close ever was basically 60,000, 59,957. So we had a wick on that weekly that took us up to about 65K on this sort of ugly candle, Darth Maul right here before going down. So really, I mean, 60K, it's kind of like, blue skies ahead because you're just filling this wick. There's no real closes up there. But this should be major supply, right? Why? Because this area right here, Yeah, we had the dip down from 65, went all the way down to 56. Then we sort of saw what I guess you could call a dead cat bounce at this point, all the way back to 60. This is where El Dumpo Majestico Grande El Libro de Nacho El Baño was initiated, right? The major dump in May started from this area. So what does that mean? That means there's probably a lot of people still looking to sell here. They got in right there like, holy crap, bro. I am even now. I'm good, right? So, whatever. I expect there to be a lot of resistance here. I would be surprised if we just Chad pushed right through this, but anything is possible. And that's kind of confirmed on the daily, although we're pushing through this area now, right? It's this whole area on the weekly up to 59. But on the daily, this is sort of the last up candle before El Explodo Grando. Yeah, I speak Espanolo really decento. I actually speak a little bit of Spanish. I'm just messing with y'all's. But it was a majestic dump. Most majestic dump I've ever seen. This is pushing hard through the daily resistance, right? I mean, that's pretty encouraging. Volume is meh, although today should continue to see through. Now, you're going to notice this bananas candle here on Bitstamp. So the chart is kind of broken on Bitstamp. Why? Because some idiot, or maybe it was purposeful, but somebody basically fat-fingered a massive sell order yesterday on Bitstamp that took price down to under 51,000 in like 2 minutes, and then it completely retraced the move. Completely retraced the move. So the Bitstamp chart is looking jacked because of this crazy candle. You will not see that crazy candle on other exchanges. So anyways, pushing into resistance here on the daily. Also pushing into the resistance at the top of the Bollinger Bands. But like I said, we got out ahead, kind of consolidated. The bands are expanding. We're way in the top. We should be following this up. Look at last December. Excuse me. Yeah, look at last December right here. Pushing up along the bands. Retrace to the bottom band, pushing up along the bands. Kind of a similar thing here when we hit 29,000. Broke into the top half of the bands. Bands expanded up, pushing in. So maybe we see one of these now, I'm not saying we will. Maybe we see some retracement before pushing back up the top of bands. But this is a major expansion of the Bollinger Bands, major volatility. We're all along the top. There's no reason that we shouldn't be going up there. Cryptonaut would like me to know that I should look at the moon phases indicator, creepy correlation. I'm going to go ahead and say that correlation, causation, I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably coincidation. Coincidation, because in my humble opinion, and guys, in my humble opinion, the phases of the moon do not affect the price of Bitcoin. And you're never going to get me there. You're never going to get me there. I'm not saying you're wrong. Do you? But my God, not happening. Not happening. So let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. You can see it's continuing to push up here, but this is starting to look like either we're going to explode up or we're going to get one of those BART things. It comes back down. You can see that bananas candle right here, but there's not much to see. Once again, this is all resistance coming up to 58. Bottom line, I just don't see, like, as an investor, I'll buy Bitcoin at any price. I don't care. I'm dollar cost averaging, but I'm definitely not like aggressively trying to like take leverage longs into heavy resistance on every time frame. You take a look at the line chart with RSI here. I mean, you got to see it, right? I mean, we're so far higher highs. We're so far out over our skis as far as RSI. RSI is barely making a push. Now through here, we had a hidden bullish divergence, right? So this bear div became invalid. There was a bear div from here to here. We have hidden bullish divergence here. See? Lower lows, higher lows. Now we're pushing up and making much bigger bear divs. But it was nice that this managed to not bear div right here. But I would just say proceed with caution. 6 hour, kind of the same vibe. Daily is good right now, but if this ends up closing a bit lower and this makes a lower high, could go down. I'm not worried. I think that these could be just temporary reversals. We've generally seen RSI resetting with price going sideways, which to me is very, very bullish. So I'm not sweating it right now. As for altcoins, minimal interest. I mean, Bitcoin dominance, absolutely pumping. I've been saying this for 2 weeks. The Bitcoin pairs look like crap. They're breaking down. Your best thing is to just sit on your hands. You take your hands right now. There's an exercise. Take your hands. Put them under you. Mine are under there. It's going to be really hard to stream now. Just sit on your hands. Just sit on them. You don't really got to do much except for sit on your hands. Let's keep going through the news. This is not news. This is a fully tin hat by CoinDesk, but it's kind of interesting. Who bought 1.6 billion in Bitcoin Wednesday and why? They could have just asked. It was me, guys. It was me. I'm the Chinese whale. Like, why even write the article and not call me first? You know what I'm saying? It's near a coincidence that a trade of this size happened on exchanges with ties to Chinese customers during a week beset by that country's capital market woes. This goes through all the arguments. Basically, there was this massive $1.6 billion buy all at once. And so, as you know, like if you take MicroStrategy, for example, when he wanted to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, he did it in like 16,000 or 64,000 or some crazy amount of transactions, right? Small transactions, didn't want to rock the market, didn't want slippage. You want to get the price. Slippage is when you put in an order so big that the price slips and you keep chasing it, right? We've seen it with our stop losses. Well, somebody just did this like once, like that bet. Can you see me? Power went out. But who has a generator? This guy. Can you hear me? Am I live? I don't even know if I'm live. Maybe. Let's see. See if I'm live. I'm going to go on YouTube. Yeah, I'm back. Some shit. That was some shit. Yeah, I am tired. Yes, you look tired. I'm tired of the power going out. Anyways, oh, I see that I just flickered just to make it cool. Just make it cool. We're gonna get through this though. I don't care. I'm gonna be here. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. Like Michael McDonald and the Doobie Brothers, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. Just make it cool. Oh man, dead. All right, so I'm gonna give you the gist of this story. Nobody in their right mind would just buy $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin on an exchange all at once because that's dumb. Right? And so this happened seemingly on Binance, Huobi, and Bybit. And somebody is basically saying that the fear of, since it's based in China, that someone was likely scared of the Tether news, that Tether might be backed by Chinese commercial paper. This was all bought with Tether, not dollars, although a lot of it could have been leveraged. So therefore, the tin hat says somebody was trying to get out of Tether aggressively by buying Bitcoin. I'm not buying it, guys, but holy wow, it's a long article. I'm going to go also once again with coincidence on this one, but it's an interesting story if you want to read that conspiracy theory. Here we go on to the Bitcoin ETF and why it might not be the most bullish thing in the world. Bitcoin ETF could tank crypto prices, says Pantera CEO. Dan Morehead fears that a Bitcoin ETF launch could have a negative impact on the price of the world's leading cryptocurrency. Now, we've seen a lot of people talking technically about why this might happen, that if futures are in contango, there could be pressure on the contract. It could send the price of spot Bitcoin down over time. Okay, that's one thing. Dan's making sort of the more obvious argument here, which is based on the last two times that we saw something like this. He's going with the straight up, like old school, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Yeah, I am sharing my screen, guys. It's not working. I'm trying here, guys. I'm really trying. You should have seen yourself when you froze. Is it bad? I bet it was bad. I bet it was bad. All right, guys, I'm trying here. Things aren't working that good. Yes, I know you can't share my screen. Thank you for telling me, though. Thank you, guys. Bitcoin ETF could tank crypto prices, right? He's saying buy the rumor, sell the news could be the reason. Why? Because 2017 CME launched Bitcoin futures. Everyone was bullish on it. That was literally the dead top of the market in December. And the last time we had this massive bullish event, it was Coinbase having their direct listing on the stock exchange, and we saw a 55% retrace. That's his argument. I don't think that two incidences means a third, but it is worth keeping an eye on that if people are aggressively buying because of that rumor, that we could see whales take advantage of that event for a sell-off. Now, going into macro here, wow. I mean, Bloomberg's so aggressive with these ads. Like, can I even see the headline, bro? No, but I can see these dudes getting eye exams. What I wanted to show you guys here was the new technology in eye exams from Bloomberg. Anyways, Goldman cuts U.S. growth forecasts. This is the macro stuff I was talking about. Goldman is sad today, dude. Goldman, Bloomberg, they're sad. But Goldman now sees 5.6% U.S. growth in 2021 and 4% in 2020. Goldman says consumption, fiscal slowdown are key challenges. We've done $4.5 trillion worth of QE in the last 2 years, and this is what we're talking about now. People aren't buying enough stuff. But anyways, as you can go down through this article, it was supposed to be 5.7 this year. They've adjusted down to 5.6, and from 4.4 down to 4.4% for next year. I mean, maybe we should just go ahead and say that forecasting is stupid and it never works and just blame that. But yes, they're reducing their forecast. And look at the next article here on Bloomberg. Is the U.S. already in recession? Given America's pandemic, recession is only judged to have ended in April 2020. Literally, that was like over a year ago. Discussion of a double dip so soon seems premature, but these guys are talking about it, guys. But this is what, yes, of course, that we could possibly be in a recession or heading into one, because we all know that the economy and the stock market are different. Everyone sees that stocks are like near all-time highs, like recession my ass, but you like talk to your average person and they can't get anyone to work at their company and they don't have that much money, right? But I just want to show you where Bloomberg's at right now. Let's just scroll down all their articles. Is U.S. already in a recession? Listen, we can talk about that, whatever. What's the next article? Let's see. Oh, they're not here now. They were here earlier. No, I can't even show you. Oh, here we go. Let's do it here. U.S. futures drop as surging oil unsettles traders. Market wrap. That sounds bad. Next article. More stocks are moving in tandem. That's troubling sign for bulls. God, Bloomberg. Why are you mad, bro? He's just mad at him when the election. Okay, and then it goes into all the COVID things. I love this. These are the stocks to watch as COVID enters its next phase. COVID next phase sounds bad. Anyways, clearly there's a lot going on in global markets right now, and it ain't that great, right? And Bitcoin has performed well in the face of that. That's what a hedge do. That's what a hedge does. That's literally the entire point. That's literally the entire point. Bitcoin will continue to rise over time if the global economy goes into recession, in my opinion. I think that if we see a huge dip all at once, we will see Bitcoin go with it, and then it will rise faster than everything else, because that's what's happened in the past. All right, we already looked at that one. White House weighs wide-ranging push for crypto oversight. Draft executive order, part of plan to coordinate agencies. Administration has yet to finalize strategy, decide on order. So, yeah, executive orders when the president goes, just going to go ahead and get this done myself. Just going to go ahead and do that thing myself. Right. And so he's talking about doing executive order, but this is not as bad as it sounds, right? It sounds like anytime we see something about regulation, but basically they're just trying to finally figure out who the hell's job it is to regulate and to start putting people in place to do it. They even talked about getting a crypto czar to do that job. So basically this is Biden potentially saying, we need some clarity here from the government on crypto, which we do, and starting to get their ducks in a row to decide whose job it is to get that in place. Not as bad as it sounds. Speaking of politicians, Ted Cruz believes Texas' abundant energy is opportunity for Bitcoin. Says that Bitcoin can make use of the state's abundant energy resources. We all know that. Here you go. 50% of the natural gas in the country that is flared is being flared in the Permian right now in West Texas, bro. All up in the Permian. I think that is an enormous opportunity for Bitcoin because that's energy that's just being wasted. Of course, they should move Bitcoin miners to where energy is being wasted everywhere in the world. And that is what they do. And that's why the energy debate is so utterly stupido. It's dumb because you can talk about how much electricity they use, but if they're using a bunch of electricity that was being completely wasted, who cares? It doesn't matter, right? That's why all these Bitcoin mining farms were set up right next to the hydroelectric plants in China. And that's why everyone's moving to Texas to use the flared off energy. That's what we do. That's the beauty of it, right? This wasted energy can't be used otherwise. And also tons of energy is wasted when you have to transport it, right? Energy created in Texas, you got to put it in a pipeline or through the wires or whatever electro doohickey ding dongies you guys use to do your electric type technologies. Right? A lot of energy is wasted. That's why Bitcoin miners go right to the source. This is a great idea from Ted Cruz, who rarely has a great idea. Edward Snowden, CBDCs are crypto fascist currencies that could casually annihilate savings. Woo! Let me read that again. Crypto fascist currencies that could casually annihilate savings. If the American economy were in dire straits, the Fed might impose a negative interest rate on people saving, forcing us to spend. Okay, I buy that. So basically, listen, there was a New York Times article talking about the risks of a central bank digital currency, and Snowden rang in. You should read it on his blog. His take is absolutely American, amazing in my brain, bro. Yeah, so it's an amazing blog post. You guys should all read it. But this is the core of it. Was they were saying that, hey, man, we could just go negative interest rates if we've got digital wallets and central bank digital currency. We need you to spend. If you don't spend, we're just going to take that money out of your wallet. Give it back to Herr Leader, right, at the central bank. But obviously, we all know that central bank digital currencies, first of all, we all know that money is going digital, period. No question about that. But we know that central bank digital currencies are going to generally be bad for the average person, right? For exact reasons like this, but also like they want your taxes, they take them. You want to transact, there's no such thing as privacy, right? Every single transaction is public. No more cash. We'll still have cash. But you get the idea, right? This is just another step towards a potential surveillance state. I don't think we can count on the governments to do what's right and keep these transactions private. Do you? Do you? I don't. Do you? I don't. Right? So what I think happens, though, is when we go to central bank digital currencies is people say, oh, this is whack. And now they've learned how to use a digital wallet and they buy Bitcoin. Stable coins, and they go about their lives in a parallel system that we all know is superior. Bitcoin in 2009, Emmy winner Ted Lasso drops crypto reference. The hit show Ted Lasso just dropped a Bitcoin reference in the season finale and an OG on that one. It's pretty sweet here. Let me find the quote. This is when Sam Obasanya, you guys watch the show, right? Sam Obasanya calls his dad, talk to him about if he should go back to Africa and play for a team there, if he should stay with Richmond. Here it is. The universe has always put me on the right path. The universe told me to marry your mother and to buy Bitcoin in 2009. 2009! And they both laughed. That show's great, first of all. If you don't watch it, have at it. Have at it. Watch it. But I just love seeing these things, right? We've seen it all over on Billions and Silicon Valley. It's talking about Mr. Robot. Bitcoin is very much mainstream, and that's the point here. I'm going to talk about one altcoin here. Stacks blows up 57% after Bitcoin. NFTs take off. I just had a podcast, I think it came out last week, with Munib from Stacks. And coincidentally, just a week or two before that, with Yago from Sovereign, both projects effectively are trying to build ecosystems on Bitcoin, saying we do not need Ethereum and the others to have DeFi, NFTs, and smart contracts. Stacks is kind of one of the projects leading the charge of that. And so they had they effectively here, this happened before, by the way, but had a modestly, I would say, successful some NFT sales. But they basically, there's a proof of concept. You can do NFTs, you can do DeFi, all settled on Bitcoin as a more stable layer. They're way behind. He'll be honest with you about that. He even said it in the podcast. But for a maximalist who's really, really, really passionate about everything happening on Bitcoin, it's nice to know it's possible. And here's the stacks chart. They're talking about what happened. But quite honestly, I don't think anything can fight Bitcoin at the moment. You see huge volume here, but kind of looks like a bit of a blow off top, to be quite honest. But as long as it holds this support zone, I would say that's between 166 and 177. You can see, right? That was support here, resistance here, support here. But at the end of the day, it's approaching the all-time high, maybe the safest trade if you're looking to enter the stacks. You know, it's either this or this, right? You know how we do it. Hey, guys, internet's in bad shape. My brain's in bad shape. Everything's in bad shape, but I should be showing up this afternoon unless I decide to sleep and take it off because it's Columbus Day, a.k.a. Indigenous Peoples Day. Only in the United States. Probably not. There's probably other places. But it feels very American for us to have a national holiday where kids get to take off school because some white dude got on a boat a long time ago and rolled into someone else's neighborhood and was like, it's mine. I discovered you. Christopher Columbus, 1492, Christopher Columbus, you know, he sailed the ocean blue, came over to the United States. First of all, he landed on an island, right? And there's like people roll out onto the beach and like, or whatever they're doing. And he's like, I discovered you and this land that you're standing on. That's mine. I discovered that in the name of Christopher Columbus. And then we gave this dude credit forever for discovering America. First of all, the Vikings had been here, like the Spanish probably had been here. And also there had been actual human people here for 10,000, 20,000 years. Like, I'm just going to roll into my neighbor's house later, like all beat up from food poisoning and be like, hey, dude, nice house. Glad I discovered it. Glad that I discovered it. So anyways, guys, yeah, he minted the United States, coined it, as someone said over here. Guys, thank you for sticking with me. And most of you stayed through the internet outage. That was pretty sweet. I appreciate you guys. I will try to be back later this afternoon. If I'm not, we do have an amazing interview with Anthony Vince from GSR. He's one of the biggest market makers and traders on the planet and the oldest, as far as how long he's been doing it in the market, not his age, in the crypto space. So that's going to be really epic. That'll either come out when my live stream would happen. I'm assuming I'm going to be there, or later this evening. You guys should check that out. Once again, guys, thank you for sticking it through with me. I appreciate you guys. I didn't want to miss it. So here we are. I will see you later today.
Let's go. Let's go.